Why are subroutines so important? Firstly, they break up your code into smaller sections. This means that instead of solving one big problem, you can break it up into lots of little problems. The solution to each smaller problem should be simple. If it's not simple, then you didn't break up your problem enough, and you need more subroutines to simplify it further. Each subroutine can be reused. You can call the same subroutine over and over again. So if you need to do the same thing at a different point in your program, you don't need to rewrite the code. You can just use the same subroutine. This reduces duplication. Using subroutines and local variables limits the scope of variables. If you declare a variable within a subroutine, then only that subroutine will be able to see it. The variable will be local to that subroutine. Importantly, it's the only subroutine, therefore, that can alter the value of that variable, and therefore it protects it from being misused by any other section of your code. As a GCSE student, you'll probably write a program and perhaps print it out, and then perhaps never go back to it. But that doesn't happen in the real world. In the real world, people come back to programs weeks, months, years after they originally wrote them. If you've broken your program up into subroutines with names that are sensible, then you can immediately pick up that code and read it and tell what it does. Before closing, it's worth mentioning parameters. Parameters can be used to pass information to a subroutine and return it back again afterwards. They allow you to make your subroutine capable of doing similar problems with different data. And before I close, it's worth mentioning that there are two types of subroutines. There are procedures and functions. The main difference between the two is that a function will always work out one and only one answer and return that answer back to the calling section of code, and therefore it must always end with a return statement.